Alright, Assalamualaikum and a very good morning to the panel. So my name is FIKRI Razali. My final year project is the effect of the spraying distance of the fatigue behavior of the FIOF coated steel. Alright, so for the chapter 1 is introductions. So for the background studies, the first one is the carbon steel. So the material often used for the ultra high strength of mechanical components. The performance and the mechanical properties of the carbon steel can be improved by a coating process. Second one is a high velocity oxide fuel HVOF is the carbide based coating using the thermal spraying high velocity oxide fuel HVOF. Also offers to improve the wear conduct and corrosion resistance. The product fit rate, nozzle length, spraying distance, and also the fuel composition are the variable in the HVOF process. And also for the fatigue behavior, the effect of the various deposition parameters on the fatigue behavior of the component coated with HVOF has been proven. Thus, it have a significant impact on the microstructure and also the characteristic of the HVOF coating. So with the figure 1, we can see the Paxson Diamond Jet DJ 2700 gun. Alright, for the problem statement, if number 1 is the how the difference spraying distance of the HVOF affects the mechanical properties of the substrate. Secondly is the fatigue behaviors of the substrates after coating, and also lastly the fracture mechanism of the substrate after fatigue test. Alright, for the objectives, the first one is to evaluate the effect of the different spraying distance on the fatigue life of the high velocity oxide fuel HVOF for the coated carbon steel. Secondly is to study the fatigue strength of the carbon steel coated with tungsten carbide nickel WCNI. And also lastly to analyze the fracture mechanism of the substrate after fatigue test. So we can see the scope studies and also significance of studies. For the scope study is the carbon steel is coated with the tungsten carbide nickel WCNI, and also the coating will be done by the high velocity oxide fuel HVOF process, and the different spraying distance will be subjected on the carbon steel specimen. The fatigue strength of the carbon steel coated will be observed and evaluated by conducting the fatigue test. Significance of the studies, the mechanical properties on the strength and the ductility of the carbon steel coated with tungsten carbide nickel under the mechanical testing on the fatigue test. The use of thermal spraying HVOF method with a different spraying distance will be determined the suitable ratio of the substrate, and also the data can be helpful during the comparison and analysis of the materials and to see which one is the best that can be used in any application. Alright, for the chapter 2 is literature review. The first one is carbon steel. So we can see the specified category of the steel which the carbon content is higher than the other steel as the name implies. We can see is Zavare 2015. By Bochers 2015, the carbon steel is classified as low carbon steel, medium carbon steel, and also the high carbon steel. And the last is the mechanical properties is of the can be enhanced by the coating the carbon steel with a binder. So it's from Abdul Malik 2017. We can see the figure 2 is an example of the carbon steel. For the thermal spraying coating, we can see the figure 3 is a HVOF thermal spray. The first one is a process that involves depositing various materials, either metallic or non-metallic, on a prepared substrate with the goal of changing surface properties such as abrasion resistant and also the corrosion resistant. It's from Lamana 2017. By the Quilmani 2006, we can see the play an additional role in lowering the production costs and increasing the service life in a variety of industries where they are applied to the surface of the wear resistant component. For the Mohanty 2018, the thermal spray is a technique for applying a thick coating on a variety of surface. One of the process is the HVOF thermal spray method. For the high velocity oxide fuel, we can see that Song 2019 is commonly used for the deposition of the coating of the carbide based cement, metals, and also alloys such as WCCO, nickel, and also the stainless steel. For the Fayazi 2019, we can see the HVOF is one of the innovations that has produced high flame velocity and moderate temperature coating. For the Zhang 2017, we can see the high velocity oxy fuel HVOF thermal spray method has shown the substantial improvement to be compared to the other alternative surface hardening processes. So we can see the figure 4 is high velocity HVOF gun. Next is HVOF spray parameter. By Luxshader 1998, the powder feed rate, nozzle length, spraying distance, and also the fuel composition are the variable in the HVOF process. By Picasso 2011, the properties of the coating deposition by the HVOF influence not only by the properties of the powder applied, but also the spray parameter used. By Santana 2010, we can see the spray distance was changed between 380 to the 470 millimeter to have a significant impact on the static mechanical characteristic and also the corrosion fatigue behavior. Next, for the tungsten carbide WC and also the tungsten carbide nickel WCNI, by Bosch 2013, the tungsten carbide WC have been used in various of the engineering applications such as rope, drill tips, tools, cutting tools, dies, as well as the other general wear part. By Kramer 2019, high density, strength, heat stability, and also excellent wear resistance and durability were known for the tungsten carbide nickel WCNI composites. For Zhang 2019, he also mentioned that the ability to beat the metals such as nickel, cobalt is the reason for the economic importance and also its high hardness at the aviation temperature. Alright, for chapter 3 is methodology. We can see the flow chart. We prepare the specimen preparation with like the machine grip blasting, also Baxen made at HVF Baxen Metatex in the Berhad. Also we goes to the mechanical testing with the fatigue test and also the fracture mechanical analysis by scanning electron microscope SEM. So for the output is failure, it goes to the mechanical testing again. For successful, we goes to analysis, which is a fatigue analysis, result and discussion, and that is the end of the flow chart. Alright, for the specimen preparation, we can see that from standard ASTM fatigue testing, the material of all the substrate medium carbon steel, hot rolled steel. So the medium carbon steel was the section into dope bone shape. So the specimen are then coated using the high velocity HVOF process, which is performed at the Metatex in Berhad outside the utilization, which is at the Shah Alam. So for figure 5, show that the dimension of specimen. Table 1 shows the list of the specimen used in this releases. We can see the carbon steel with the WCNI. The parameter is 200 mm, 250 mm, 300 mm. For the uncoated, which is uncoated steel, we have the carbon steel. Overall is 4 quantity for every each of the parameters. Alright, this one is the process of the HVOF. The first one is we have to clean the specimen using the acetone to remove the oil and grease and dirt. Secondly is the boss of the specimen will cover with the cellophane tape. Next is the specimen was grit blast with the chip blast at 600 lbs before the coating applied, so to create a rough surface. Next is the nickel powder carefully placed into the powder feeder container. Next is we have to set up the oxygen pressure, full pressure, and also air pressure at the ZD 2000 mobile HVAC equipment. After that, we put the specimen at the clamper and the engineer or the inspector will point and spray the Baxen Diamond Jet DJ 2700 gun to the specimen. So we have to repeat the process 1 to 7 with a different parameter of specimen. So we can see the output of the product. Alright, for the coating deposition procedure, the coating of WCNI on the surface of the carbon steel specimen performed at the Metatex Bahan Shah Alam using ZB 2000 HVOF Baxen with the Baxen Diamond Jet DJ 2700 gun. So the independent variable for the specimen and also for the ratio is a spraying distance of the HVOF thermal spray setting. So we can see the specimen before and after coating, and also for this one, for the figure 7, the coating method is for the dot bone shape sample. So the spray gun will attach at the middle of the dot bone coated steel. So we can see the table 2 is quoting a parameter of the carbon steel specimen. So we have the parameter, the thermal spray gun, powder feeding rates, particle size, oxygen pressure, fuel pressure, air pressure, airflow, fuel flux, oxygen flux, and also the main focusing is the spraying distance, 200 to 300 millimeter. Alright, for the fatigue test, we can see that the fatigue test is applied and is to determine material fatigue strength after being subjected on the cycle loading. A fatigue test is also used for the determination of the maximum load that a sample can withstand for the specified number of cycles. The cycle fatigue test also produce the repeated loading and also unloading intention, compression, bending, torsion, or combination of these stresses. So these are parameter, and also the description for the maximum stress is the highest stress of a specimen can withstand before breaking. Minimum stress, the lowest stress a specimen can withstand before breaking. Stress ratio is the ratio of the minimum and also the maximum stress. High cycle fatigue is the output, which is the large number of cycles required to produce the fatigue failure. Fatigue life greater of the 10 to the power of 4 until the 10 to the power of 5. For the fatigue endurance limit and also the fatigue strength, we can see that the highest stress that a material can withstand for a given number of the cycle without breaking. For the fatigue life, the deformation of the failure behavior of the material under the cycle loading. Alright, this one for the fracture mechanism. The analysis of the fracture mechanism or fracture behavior is needed after the mechanical testing had been done by using the scanning electron microscope SEM. So we can see figure 10, the fracture surface of the specimen, and also figure 11 is the machine of scanning electron microscope SEM. We can see the expected results. So the expected result is the result of the fatigue life of carbon steel coated will be obtained. The result of the fatigue strength of the carbon steel coated will be evaluated, and also as decrease of the spray distance, the fatigue strength will decrease. Then the coated carbon steel prone to the experience failure. So we can see the figure 12 if Mr. David from the staff of the Metatech Syndrome had point the Blackson Diamond Jet DJ2000 gun to the specimen for the process of HVOF. Alright, for the sustainability, the renewable energy industry has increasingly been turning to thermal spray coating as the preferred solution. Next, we can see that the HVOF thermal spray process can be applied to protect the component of the renewable energy technologies against the corrosive and erosive effect of the aggressive environment they are subjected to. For the lastly is we can increase the lifetime or the lifespan of the component. Alright, that's all from me. Thank you.